Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I have been super ultra mega negative when it comes to the final season of The Flash. I have probably ranted on each and every single episode this season. I have been saying such horrible but truthful bad things about the season so far. This is the first time I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed an episode of The Flash. I can't believe I'm saying it out loud. It sounds weird. I almost have to pinch myself. I had fun with this episode. This is season 9, the final season. Thank God, episode 9. It took them 9 episodes to finally do a good episode of the final season. This is entitled, It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want to. Because of the song, get it? This episode was, I believe, directed by Danielle Panabaker. I don't know if she's directed episodes before this. She probably has. But, alright, at the beginning of the episode, you see that it's Barry Allen's birthday. And they talk about how he's turning 30 years old. And I was like, Barry's only 30? Really? He's not older than that? And then they talk about, they've continuously throughout this episode referenced the fact that a couple years ago, Barry fought some person, and in that fight, he ended up losing 3 years of his life, or I guess gaining 3 years of his life. He regressed. So this is his second time turning 30. I don't fully understand that. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, and then they even flashbacked and showed the moment when I guess it happened, when he became younger. I have no memory of this. I don't remember this at all. I'm not denying it happened, but I'm saying I don't remember this shit. And I'm also saying, how the hell does this work? How the hell does it make sense that Barry fought somebody and then lost years of his life or became younger? And they didn't talk about this more? This wasn't referenced more? But okay, fine, let's move on. So they're having the party. It's a surprise party for Barry. And they're all about to drink some wine. Wait, before we get to the wine, Wally West shows up. It was nice to see the actor that plays Wally West because we haven't seen him in a while. I always thought that that character had more potential to do more and be more. I forget why he left the show. I feel like there was a lot of weird drama going on, but I like him. It was cool to have him back. It was also great to get Diggle. I've complained so much about how much I don't care about the current side characters on the Flash show. So seeing some of our originals, seeing some of the OG original characters, I was very, I don't want to say nostalgic because it hasn't been that fucking long ago, has it? Maybe it has. Maybe it has been long ago to be nostalgic, but Wally and Diggle, it felt like the show that I knew and loved once again. You see Chester and Allegra, the relationship that I couldn't care less about. Oh, we're celebrating our 1 month anniversary. I'm like, how old are these people? They're at least in their 20s, right? They're adults, and you celebrate your 1 month. I know that there are couples like that. It just annoyed me. And so when everybody drinks their was it wine or champagne, they all get sick and they pass out, and you see some black symbiote venom ooze in the drinks, and so it was fake venom. What's his name? Bloodwork. Now I actually did not mind this villain coming back. I mean, his explanation of, oh yeah, I just broke out of the prison and just came here. Little lazy. A little, really? Could we not put some more work into this? But him showing up, okay, fine, sure. Of course, Barry was the one that put him away, so he immediately went after Barry once again. I did like the idea that he was trying to get into both Barry and Wally's heads. They're speedsters. He clearly needed a speedster to do what he ended up wanting to do. The whole thing of Chester wasn't the one that drank any champagne, so he wasn't unconscious like everyone else. And Bloodwork brought back the entire group as zombies, and they all like chased Chester. I thought that was kind of silly. Didn't really care for any of that. Him interacting with a zombie version of Allegra, only magnified how much I don't care about those characters. No offense to the actors, really. I don't mind the actors. The characters are just written really bad. They are. And then the director of the episode herself, Danielle Panabaker, shows up as Keon. Keon. Keon shows up and just freezes everybody that's a zombie. She said that she froze the water in their bodies, but it's okay. They're fine. How does she know that? How does she know that she didn't just kill them? She just knows. And later on in the episode, she's able to uninfect Diggle, which clearly the only reason why it was Diggle is because it's Diggle. We all like Diggle, and we wanted to see Diggle do some cool superhero stuff. Because realistically, Keon is not close to Diggle, so why would she pick Diggle out of everyone else that she actually at least has spent some time with? Wally, when Bloodwork was in Wally's head and he took him back to his childhood room, that was actually kind of depressing. I forgot how messed up Wally's backstory was, with his mother being a drug addict and just everything there. Like, again, further reminding me how much more interesting Wally is as a character versus a lot of the other side characters that I don't care about. They even mentioned how, oh yeah, Jesse Quick, his girlfriend, she died, and he, like, let's bring her back. And Bloodwork explains that the multiverse exists. The multiverse is out there. It's back. Because I was wondering, I feel like when Red Death, fake Batwoman, evil Batwoman, when she talked about coming from another timeline, I thought that Crisis got rid of any other Earth or any other timeline. I was confused about how was there a timeline with an evil Batwoman if we got rid of everything else. I guess this is the explanation, that there is a multiverse. It does exist. I guess. I'm still not sure how, but okay. So Wally succumbs, he joins Bloodwork, and evil Wally ends up killing Barry, which was a little surprising. And Barry, in death, ends up on an island, a very familiar island. And who's on this island? Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell, yes, Team Amell. I was clearly ecstatic. I was clearly happy. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen because of the promotional stuff, the trailers and whatnot, but I felt good, it felt right to have Stephen Amell back. And it's amazing how, the writing of these shows, pretty much all of the CW superhero Arrowverse shows, has been bad lately. But for some reason, either the writing got better for this one particular episode, or seeing a lot of these characters that I do care about, that I did miss, and seeing Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell back, it made me not think so hard about the bad writing. It made me not think so hard about how much a lot of this doesn't make sense, because it was my comfort place. Seeing Oliver Queen talk to Barry Allen, these incarnations, it felt like a comfort place, and it was great. It was great seeing Stephen Amell back. It was great hearing the old Arrow music cues at the end of those scenes, seeing them back on the island. A little depressing to think about. Oliver Queen dies and he winds up in the afterlife, stuck again on the island. It's like, did he have a happy ending? I don't know. And unfortunately, they're mentioning still that he became the Spectre. I guess he still technically is the Spectre. I hated that they made Oliver Queen the Spectre in the Crisis stuff. I just thought that was terrible. I did. It was awful, and they kept referencing it throughout it. I get that it happened, so I guess you can't ignore it, but I don't want to think of him like the Spectre. I don't want that to be the lasting image of him. I loved, first of all, that it was Oliver Queen, the character, who was able to talk to Barry, give him the speech, motivate him again, bring him out of death. It was funny when he punched him in the face to wake him up from death. And then when Stephen Amell was there in the Green Arrow costume, holy shit, was that cool. Now, I mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure if Danielle Painter-Baker directed episodes before. She might have, but I thought there was a couple of directing misfires, and I don't want to be too negative, but it's just the reveal of Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell, back in the Green Arrow costume. I feel like that should have been directed better. I feel like that reveal of seeing him in full costume in that room when Barry wakes up, that should have been a bigger deal. Just image-wise, directing-wise, that should have been like, holy shit, the fucking king is back. I don't know, it just felt like the camera panned over and you only saw him from the side, and it was cool when he took out his arrow and was like, that he said it was good to be back, or he missed this. Whatever he said, that was cool, but I still feel like the camera could have zoomed in on him, or could have... Anyways, we'll move on. It was very cool to see him in action, Green Arrow in action. He ended up fighting infected cops, zombie cops on the street. But once again, I'm going to talk about some directing. The camera clearly showed that it was Green Arrow's stunt guy. You saw his face, clear as day. There was a bunch of shots where you saw the face and it wasn't Stephen Amell. And I tried to ignore it the first 2 or 3 times. By the 4th or 5th time that I saw this other stunt guy's face, I said, all right, God damn it. Can we not cut away? Can we not show the stunt guy's face and only show the face when it was Stephen Amell actually doing the fighting? I don't want to beat up Danielle Painter-Baker because I like her as an actress and she seems like a super cool person, but god damn it. And the way how the camera was shaking during the fight, I know you're trying to make it look frantic and crazy, but it was giving me a headache. So a couple of issues there, but seeing Diggle show up and see Oliver alive, and him going up to him and Oliver saying, I can explain, and Diggle's like, I don't care, dude. Give me a fucking hug. That was a great moment. That made me feel good as well. And Barry was able to talk to Wally, possessed zombie Wally, and he basically gave him the same speech. He just copied and pasted the speech that Oliver gave him, which is kind of funny how soon they happened. And so Barry was like, well, it worked for me, so let me try it on Wally. And it worked. So thank you, Green Arrow, for giving me the speech there. And that was cool. That was a nice moment. Wally fought through it. And the group, when Oliver Queen said, you have failed the city, shoots the arrow, saves the multiverse from the fake Venom stuff. Oh yeah, when Bloodwork turned into the giant CGI horrible fake Venom, it looked terrible. Stop with the CGI. Stop doing creature effects when you clearly don't have the budget for it. You could have just had him as him. I get it. You try to make him look threatening. It just did not look good. But it made up for it, though, by hearing Stephen Amell utter the words, my favorite catchphrase from the Arrowverse, you have failed the city. I don't get tired of it. I don't get sick of it. It's a catchphrase that I still reference to this day. That's how much I enjoy it. So that, too, made me feel good. And they saved the day. They saved the multiverse. They took away Bloodwork's powers and his disease. So he's just going to go to prison. I was like, wait, what can the Spectre do? What are his powers? Like he can cure diseases, but he doesn't use it to cure anyone else's diseases, or doesn't use it to maybe save some other people that shouldn't have died. Okay, sure. And we go back to the party. Everyone's having a good time at the party. I appreciated that Wally had at least one scene with his sister. I almost thought we were going to go through this entire episode because they've had a bunch of scenes with Wally and Barry, which is fine, but I wanted Wally to talk to his goddamn sister. He did. Oh, by the way, earlier when the group got possessed or infected, the zombified, Iris was the only one who wasn't infected completely because Nora, her baby, her unborn baby, was able to use her healing abilities to help Iris fight off the infection. What? And then when you see what happens with Iris throughout the rest of the episode, I mean, she says that she goes and locks herself in a room, and then communication cuts off completely. So they didn't even really have to do that. As weird and dumb as that sounds, it's like you didn't do anything with her after that, so she could have just been an infected person. But sure, fine. And we had a nice scene where Oliver was talking to Diggle, and they mentioned Felicity, they mentioned his kids, William and Mia, and how he watches over them, but he's not able to visit them because there's rules to his powers and blah blah blah. At least they addressed it. Whether or not it makes sense or whether or not it's satisfying, it did make me think. As much as I didn't like that Oliver became the Spectre, I almost double don't like it because now you're just reminding me how sad the end of the Oliver McQueen story is. He doesn't get to be with his wife. He doesn't get to be with his kids. Sure, he's aware of them and sees them, but man, 8 seasons with Oliver Queen, and this is how his story ends, I guess. I did like the moment when him and Barry were at the bar talking, although Oliver Queen is supposed to be dead. Why is he in public at a public bar in front of people who would say, holy shit, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be dead? What's going on here? You know, TMZ, the paparazzi could all take pictures of them. Tomorrow's newspaper should say, Oliver Queen back from the dead with a picture of him with Barry Allen at a bar. I'm just saying, let's not pretend like that wouldn't be the case. But we had another great scene, another great moment of Oliver giving Barry some advice and some lasting words as far as being a hero and what he's doing for the city, that he's doing enough. And it was nice. It was nice. Oliver disappeared in front of a bunch of people in the bar. Nobody noticed. Nobody said anything. But still, you can tell that I am being super nice right now. That I am being super forgiving right now. That I am being super non-nitpicky when it comes to the level of hate and anger that I brought to previous episodes. The way that I ranted last night. Oh boy, did I rant last night on Gotham Knights and that terrible episode. I had fun with this one. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed Diggle, Wally, and especially Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell. This was fun. This felt like the show that I fell in love with in the first 2 seasons. This felt like the universe that I was excited to continue with years and years ago. Too bad it all went to shit. Too bad it's all been bad. But we're trying to be positive here, folks. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this episode? Were you happy to see Green Arrow back as well? Was that enough? Did you watch this and say, no dude, you're watching this through pure fanboy eyes? Are you telling me that this was bad and I need to really look at it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later! Oh, yeah.